All right, hey, it's Rob, and I'm going to do something no self respecting 57-year-old should ever do. I'm going to make a video about Taylor Swift. All right, so I'm not here to talk about Taylor Swift as a person or a celebrity or get into Taylor Swift's music, which I just never have. It's just not my thing. It's not written for my demographic, that's for sure. And I've listened to a few of her songs. I don't know. I just don't hear it. But anyway, I am an audio engineer, and I saw an interesting post, a tweet, an X, whatever you call it. And the guy was basically saying that there is a problem with the new version of Taylor's album 1989. We all know that she's been re-recording her records, and that there's a technical problem. There's a buzz or a tone or something throughout a lot of the songs.
1 kilohertz.
And I found that interesting. Obviously, she's a billionaire. She has enough money to make proper recordings, even if she's doing it on her own or whatever. And I thought, why is that there? What is it? And I should mention that the original tweet came from a guy named Brad Hook. He's the one who pointed out this technical issue, and he even said it's at 15.7 kilohertz, it's a buzzing, and that Taylor should go and fix the problem. So I looked on Reddit, and there were a bunch of people also saying, yeah, I can hear it. What is that? Why is it there? And here's a guy saying, yeah, they should redo these vocals. The buzzing is atrocious. As an audio engineer, this is totally unacceptable. So he's definitely hearing what the other people are hearing. And another comment here, I'm 28. I can hear it. Maybe I should just wait till I'm older, then I won't hear it anymore. Or maybe they should fix it. I don't know. There was an older guy who said, I'm an old fart. I can't hear it at all. And I definitely can't hear up that high either, even though I make my living recording audio. Now, what does that sound like? I have no idea. I'm 57 years old. I can't hear up that high. Maybe you can. So let's do a little hearing test and find out if you can hear all the way up to 15,700 hertz. Now, at this point, you'll want to put in AirPods or put on headphones because your phone speaker is not even able to recreate a sound that is 15.7 kilohertz. So he's saying that there's a 15,700 hertz tone that you can hear in the vocal tracks. And we're going to listen in a second. I isolated them. And, well, actually, I didn't isolate them, but I found someone who did. And hopefully I'm not going to get a copyright strike for doing that or for playing Taylor's music. Or I don't know. All this is pretty risky for me, but I thought it was interesting enough to try. So he's saying, and he shows this picture on this spectrograph, and I'll show that here. And that is basically showing you all the frequencies of the music, what you can hear from the low to the high. And he's saying that there is this 15.7, like that bar going right there on my deck. There is this constant tone in the recording, and doesn't know why it's there. One thing, digging around, that I found out is that old computer monitors, you remember these things, CRT, they're called cathode ray tube monitors with tubes in them, the big computer monitors, not the flat ones which are LED or LCD or whatever they are now, but the big computer monitors make a whine at that level, at 15.7 kilohertz. They just make an audible sound. And a lot of people I know, when they're around an old TV or a computer monitor, they go, I hear, it's really bad, it's annoying, it's a buzz, it's a whine. I can hear it. And like I said, as you get older, you just stop hearing that stuff. So that's one nice thing about getting old. You don't hear these annoying buzzes and noises and sounds. Question is, of course, why would she be in a room with an old computer monitor if that is in fact the case? And I think it's possible what she's doing is she's using at least the sequences from the old records and running them again through new instruments and making new recordings. Now, again, I don't want to get too technical or too far in the weeds here, but basically, a sequence is a computerized instruction that tells, like, let's say, the piano what to play. And here's an example of a very famous sequencer. This is the Akai MPC60. It's a sequencer and a drum machine. You can see it recorded on floppy disks. So it's not the sounds. It's not, anything that you hear. It's a computer saying, piano, play C chord, play an F chord, play a G chord, go back to the C chord. It's telling the keyboard, the thing making the sounds, what to play. And these can be backed up. They used to be backed up on floppy disks, but now they're probably on hard drives or whatever. So it's possible she's using the computer instructions, the sequences, to replay on different synthesizers, different instruments, the same exact notes and the same keys at the same tempo. I don't know. And if that's possible, then she might be in a room recording with a computer. She might actually not be out in the studio. Maybe she's in just a little control room with, the computers and all that kind of stuff. Prince used to love to record in the control room. He didn't like to go out in the studio and be all alone in a little booth. He just sat in front of the recording console, the board, and he had a microphone and he did it himself. So then you say, well, still, why would she be in a room with an old computer? Now, the original album was recorded in 2014. So that's what makes me think maybe back in 2014, she was using an older computer back then, and maybe that computer had an old, big, tube-type monitor. It's really stretching. I don't know. But maybe she pulled that out of her storage unit or whatever and replayed the new parts with that old computer, and maybe she was in the room with that computer that had that old monitor. Again, we've gotten rid of those things, decades ago at this point, so I don't know why she would have that, but it's just one idea that the sound you're hearing on the new Taylor Swift version of 1989 is the sound of a whining computer monitor. I don't know. You have to listen for yourself and see, first of all, if you can hear it. So I'm going to play, and again, I'm risking copyright issues and things like that, but I'm going to play just the vocals. Someone has just separated, and they use AI or some computer program just to extract the vocals from the tracks. So I'm going to play you right here the original 1989, and I hear the little buzzing. It's like a grinding, it's like a gritty, weird sound. I hear it in the original too, but it's really muffled. It's really hard to hear. You'd have to put AirPods on or whatever, and I'd suggest you do that if you haven't. And take a listen. There's also an interesting thing, I think, in the second line. I hear a metallic click, like a ding, 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 ding. And I think it's probably her hand hitting the music stand. She's reading lyrics, they're on a music stand, and you can hear right in the beginning of the second line a little ding or a dink or whatever. I think it's probably her bumping into the music stand or the microphone stand or something or other. Again, these are just vocals that have been extracted. You don't hear it in the mix with all the instruments and that kind of stuff, but I found that interesting. So in this first clip from the original 1989, take a listen. Let me know if you hear that little grinding, weird, buzzing noise. I hear it way at the end of the phrases. You have to really turn up your headphones. Take a listen, see if you hear it here.
The drought was the very worst. When the flowers that we'd grown together died of thirst.
All right, so here's the crazy thing. We're going to take a listen now to the same lines from the same song. I think it's a song called Clean. And take a listen to, once again, the vocals that have just been removed, extracted from the mix. And take a listen to the vocals here, and there is no way you will not hear what this guy's talking about. It is a constant buzz, grind, hum. It's an annoying, awful sound that should not be in the recording. I hear it clear as day. I'm 57 years old, and it's not a high-pitched sound. I would never hear that high pitch the guy is talking about, 15.7K. I would never hear that, but I definitely hear this thing that he's talking about that apparently is throughout the whole recording of the new Taylor's version of 1989. So take a listen to that weird buzz hum thing that you can hear at the end of her vocal phrases here.
The drought was the very worst. When the flowers that we'd grown together died of thirst.
So I know you heard that. That's what people are complaining about. Why is it there? I have no idea. It's really strange.